All right, let's go over this one more time here. This is a pretty common thing that people ask about, cleaning out the idle wells, pulling out the emulsion tubes. As always, pulling out the emulsion tubes, I'm not going to say it's dangerous, but it's very easy to destroy these. You have to be very careful at your own risk. Pulling out the idle well on a Ford carb, the idle well restriction is in there inside, and you pretty much have to take it out if you want to actually clean anything. With modern carbs, a lot of people are used to seeing the idle feed restriction right here. On many aftermarket carbs, Chevy carbs, it's normally right here, located right here at the bottom. On Ford ones from the 1960s, it is located inside the idle well. Not exactly the best place in the world for it. Couple different ways to remove these plugs safely. One, mine is kind of wore out, but you know, you could use an easy out. Just tap it in there and it spins easily, and pulling it out. There we go. That wasn't too hard, was it? Now, reusing these, you can, but generally I would say it would be ill-advised. If you buy a rebuild kit from me, it comes with whatever plugs you need. Otherwise, I do sell them on my webpage. The other way to remove these is to use a number 1, which is a 228 drill bit. And we're just going to do exactly the same process, which is you're just pressing, spinning, and it comes right off. Easy enough, huh? This definitely destroys the plug. I use that method simply because I'm normally doing, when I'm taking carbs apart, I'm normally taking apart 10 or 12 of them in a day. I don't know how well you can see, kind of, the idle feed restriction is inside of this well. And if you do not clean that out, it's a huge pain in the butt. I mean, the engine will run a lot of times, but you'll have intermittent trash just getting stuck in this whole area between this hole and here, and it just kind of like it runs good sometimes, or you have an oscillating kind of idle. It rolls, or it goes lean and goes rich. All right, now the emulsion tubes here. Most people would want to use a small center punch. This is kind of difficult for me to do because I have to lean over the table so you can see this. And that's reasonably centered. I'm going to use a number 35 drill bit and a 632 tap. And the trick here is to drill not very deeply. I'm going to be prying this out with a small truss-headed screw, and I only need a couple threads to get enough leverage to pull them out. Drilling directly in the center and not going too deep is the trick here. And a little bit of oil, poop-a-da-poop. And again, it doesn't need to be very deep. Don't got to get crazy. Especially if you drill a little bit off center, like I did with this one that I didn't center punch. It's even more important to not go very deep. And then we can put the little truss-headed screw. Again, this is a 632 tap, a number 35 drill bit. Use 2 flathead screwdrivers. And I'm used to doing this in my lap, but we'll try it here. Yep, there we go. And it's popped out. Not a big deal. Pretty easy to do. These ones look pretty good. For restorations, I take these out every time. I find that it's the only way to make sure they're clean. and these ones look good. I'm going to run these in the ultrasonic cleaner. One thing that I do is you've got 4 25,000th holes. These ones here look plugged. These ones here look pretty free. And so in the metering block, you have this hole, which is normally 26 to 28 thousandths, and it goes into this hole like little well here, goes through here, comes out here. And that just provides like emulsion bleed air inside the main well. It makes the top of the column of fuel lighter, so it pulls easier and helps aerate the fuel as well. If you do accidentally drill through the side, you can always take a small set screw, put a little bit of sealant on it, and since you've already tapped it, you can just screw it right in there so it seals, no air leakage. You can grind the top off, whatever you want. Nobody sells these. There are emulsion tubes that are available, but they are not the same as the original Performance ones. And once I've got these fully cleaned, what I normally do is I put them in water to test them. I just put a little air tube and blow into it, and you'll see the bubbling and actually assure that there's, you know, free flow through there. If there is none, you can see the tips here are soldered. You can just heat the solder and let it leak off, and then put a rod up in there. Again, 4 25,000th holes. I use a pin gauge because I'm a card builder. I have different size pin gauges, but you may have to just, you know, take a little strand of copper or something if it's not clear, just to try to clear it out. These are not super critical on many carbs, but for a forward carb with a down leg, this is the only bleed above the float level, and so it works as an anti-siphon, much like a kill bleed or in the angle like later carbs will have. Well, that's it. I hope that explains it a little better, and I hope I can just link this video instead of having to describe the same thing 400 times to people. All right, thanks.